Okay, hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're having a good day today. This video is going to be a little different. We will be taking a look at a recent showcase game update for a game called No Rest for the Wicked. And for editing purposes, I'm going to try something a little different and new for myself. I'll be reacting over the video showcase there and talking about the update and addressing the information as it comes up. Now, if you are unaware of the game, No Rest for the Wicked is a top-down action-adventure RPG with Souls-like elements. It is set in a dangerous yet unbelievably beautiful world, and the game entered into early access, I believe, last April, and since then has been slowly getting content updates, and the idea is, content updates until the game is at its 1.0 full release. So we'll be taking a look at the newest content update that is coming soon, and it is called The Breach. I'm Cody, and this is Custom by Cody, so let's get to it. Okay, now we're going to magically shrink me down. Hello, everyone. There we go. We're going to cut away a little bit, and we're going to watch the video. Turn up the volume a little bit. Yeah, one thing I do like about this game is the art style of it. It's really incredible. I think they nailed something truly unique with it, and I just love the visuals of this game. Wicked Inside, The Breach. Here we go.
Hey everyone, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Gennady.
Thomas
Welcome
and
to our
Gennady.
second Wicked Inside.
We know a lot of you have been eagerly waiting to hear more from us since we shipped our last major content update.
Yes, that is true.
Right after early access launch, we spent weeks listening intently to your feedback while putting out numerous hotfixes and patches.
Then, after we felt
Petting
that
a
No
dog.
Rest for the Wicked was in a good spot, we launched our first big content update, The Crucible.
With the Crucible, we introduced fresh enemies, brand new systems, and a fun mode to keep everyone entertained while we began work on our next major
that's very
content
true.
update.
Now, one thing I did find...
But it's been a while
Hold on,
since
I'll
then.
pause it real
And
quick here
today,
for a sec. One thing that I did find with the game, it is early access, so things are going to come up, but the performance of this, at least when I was playing, was dog doo-doo, and it was very hard to put, large amount of time into it because you'd start it up and you'd get going, and then suddenly the game would crash, and that got really frustrating after a while. So hopefully they've improved a little bit more on that, on
We'd
the
like to explain
optimization.
why.
Our publisher for No Rest for the Wicked was Private Division, a subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive.
Take-Two decided to sell off Private Division, which was unexpected news for us. After some deliberation, we saw an opportunity.
After months of negotiations, we reached an agreement to buy the publishing rights for No Rest for the Wicked back so that Moon Studios could become fully independent. This legal process took time, and we couldn't say much while it was all happening.
But today,
That is
we're
an
excited
interesting
to announce
information
that
there.
it's all done, and that Moon Studios is now fully independent.
Oh, wow.
We believe
Look at
this
that,
will
eh?
give you even more confidence in our vision, because we're free to build No Rest for the Wicked exactly how we want.
Yeah, that's pretty
without
neat. They
needing
can-
to ever go silent.
They
again.
can
We've
build
used
it
this
how they
extra
want to
time to create something
design the game. That's really interesting. So good. I think good for them. That's great.
truly special. Let's take a look at The Breach.
Yes, let's take a look at The Breach. Look at that old man. I want to be
The Breach represents
that
the
big beard
biggest
one day.
content update we have ever shipped. We have heard you loud and clear. You wanted more out of our campaign. You wanted more story, more zones to play in, more enemies to fight, more bosses to test your metal against.
Yes, we wanted more of the
In
game.
short,
That's correct.
More of everything. And that is exactly what we have been focusing on.
Good.
Our story continues immediately following Ellsworth's return to Sacrament. He summons his daughter Odessa from her prison cell. and their exchange reveals more about their relationship.
Take the upper passage out, then leave by the northwest gate.
That's
What are you
one thing I always find funny in fantasy games sometimes is that when you have a prisoner like Odessa here, that she's still kitted out in her armor. It's like, you know, come on, wouldn't you have taken that away?
Guard Bennett is often sleeps on duty, and the ramparts above him will be unmanned. Head north to Ermgard and Merrin.
I just love the art of this game. I think the characters, the way they've designed them, looks fantastic. Has style.
So that's it then.
You have to go.
As a Sarim, players will have to venture forth into new
Now,
areas.
just pausing this here real quick. That face up here, I always like playing the game. Like in their environments, they did a great job. Excuse me, a great job at like handcrafting their world. Which, yeah, no, that's something else for them.
For the breach. These are massive zones that essentially double the size of the world players got to explore so far. A lot has changed in the Sola Sacra since you've last visited. Southeast of Sacrament lies the Lowland Meadows, a once idyllic haven used by Sacrament's hunters to gather food and supplies.
Yes, there
Elfwood's
is cooking
requests
in
our
this
presence
game.
on a secret mission,
I love cooking
but
in
a
video
faction
games.
known as the Harvesters has taken over the region.
See? I told you this serum would come, and here they are.
Indeed. Your presence is welcome here. My friend is convinced that some threat awaits us at the Weeping Sisters.
As always at Moon, when it comes to level design, we deliberately craft every single inch of our world by hand. We do not rely on any procedural
Cool looking
generation,
shield.
and we believe that ultimately that will allow us to create an insanely expansive, interactive open world where every inch actually matters.
Throughout your journey through the meadows, you will encounter all new enemies. We have also introduced 2 new weapon archetypes, gauntlets and wands. Let's take a look at how these new weapons can be
Looks
used to
pretty
take
cool.
down all new foes that you'll encounter.
The Timberwhite here will try to take your life with his ginormous great axe. We know some of you already loved being able to suplex enemies in Wicked. It was only appropriate we introduced a dropkick.
Yeah, look at the timing of that attack, eh? That was cool.
Wormwood wretches and limseed archers will keep you on your toes with brutal
Oh, I
rages.
always found that difficult when there's groups and they did have range. Like you had to take,
Our
or you
tremor
do
wave
have to
will
take
make
out the
quick
range
work of it.
first. It's very annoying.
Rust Reavers present an even greater
Also, I'm
challenge.
terrible at the game too.
Equipped
So
with 2
there's that.
huge saws, your best bet is to keep your distance and counter when you find an opening.
Is it like a giant bird man?
Deeper within the meadows, the Copse Treader will try to block your path forward.
Yeah, some of these enemy designs are just really cool. Look at that.
Study
He has like
his
this
movement patterns and
weird
keep a cool
tail
head.
thing.
You might just prevail. Obviously, we are
Ugh,
also
how creepy is
introducing
that,
all
eh?
new bosses for the breach, but we don't want to spoil everything just yet.
We know a lot of you already enjoyed how much love and care we're putting into all of these areas. Once again, we didn't shy away from really using verticality and hiding secrets everywhere.
Oh, okay,
Even
that's
though
like a
you'll often
log.
Fight for your life in all of these
I
zones.
thought that was a stone
Every now
wall. I was
and
like,
then,
how are we
you'll
supposed
get
to
to
know
enjoy
that?
a
But
serene
it's a
scene of
a
beauty.
rotted out log that you can kind of see the broken bit there.
Things have changed in Sacrament too. Caretaker Alden has arrived in town to plead for help, dealing with the Blight, a plague infestation destroying his home of Marin Village.
Excuse me, is it true that Governor Ellsworth has already gone north with that madrigal? The guard said as much, but I wasn't sure. Many doors in Sacrament stay shut to us, Dasha.
And if you exit Sacrament through its northwestern gate, you will find yourself in the once majestic Marin Woods.
Marin Woods. Interesting. Look at that. Birch trees, golden leaves. It's beautiful.
Recently, the Marin Woods have been befallen by the Blight.
What is that
all
thing?
throughout the woods, and players will have to find a way past it in order to advance.
Oh, gross.
The Belactor are ferocious fighters. The Stalkinche here knows how to wield a club, and if you're not careful, they might just call in reinforcements. Our new wands build are surprisingly effective. We can cast ice darts to freeze our enemies. Cold Sling is a powerful ice evasion attack.
Cool. Very cool.
For the Heavy Feather, we'll use some more powerful spells our wands provide. We have since learned how to perform the Riven Twins Plague Explosion.
Okay. Different looking magic ability there. Very interesting.
Lightning Bolt makes quick work of any enemy.
Halfway through Marin Woods, you'll encounter Marin Village, a peaceful woodland
Marin
community.
Village. Ooh, a new little town. Interesting. What do we got?
First traveler I've seen in ages. I'm amazed you made it to our village at all, stranger. Hardly anyone comes here anymore.
10,000 blessings ceremony.
Like, look at this character design. Like, what is this? This guy is like wearing a giant tree and has like, is that like flowers or little eggs or something or nests in it? Like, that's really cool. I really like how this game is designed. Like, it's really top tier.
Turning us to ourselves.
The villagers in Marin provide new services and sell different items than the ones in Sacrament.
My clod of a cousin's still hammering away in Sacrament. Figured they would have run him off by now. Chased them out of town with their crooked pitchforks and bent spears. Might as well give it here.
In Marin, we will also meet Odessa's godmother, Irmgard, a connection to her Dasha heritage.
I remember when my mother used to sing me to sleep. You did too. Same lullaby.
Will I see you there? All of us at one
I
table
did like
again.
how cinematic this game is with its cutscenes. It's even though you're playing from a top-down point of view,
and in a return to the Nameless Pass,
like this,
we'll
as you can
explore
see
new
here,
areas
like when
within
it does it,
learning more about
do like
forces of
the story beats, like, and it zooms in, it's cinematic. It is really nice. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Not while we knock on salvation's door.
Discipline takes time. It's earned, not bought.
The born god disagrees. Discipline is forged. It is a tool molded in flame.
Meanwhile, we'll continue the story of Madrigal Celine and her vanguard, who seek to liberate the lost city of Kalen.
We're incredibly excited about this new chapter in our campaign, but we don't want to spoil everything just yet.
Replayability.
Our intention for No Rest for the Wicked was always to provide players with an insane amount of content, even after they finish the campaign. After the events that unfold throughout the Breach, our Spilled Blood questline continues as any area within Isola Sacra can now be overtaken by the Pestilence. Once an area is infected, you'll suddenly have to fight enemies that you never encountered before in these areas. Defeat these enemies, and they might just drop all new Torn resources. Torn resources can be burned at any fire in order to further increase the challenge within an infected area. You will need to heavily upgrade your gear and perfect your build in order to succeed. But greater challenge also means greater rewards. Notice that with every enemy you slay, the pestilence spread meter at the bottom of the screen reduces.
Okay.
Slay enough enemies and you will have to overcome only one more obstacle.
Someone's a boss.
Getting rid of the infection means ripping it out.
Forsaken Heart.
If you manage to defeat the plague boss within the infected area, the entire zone will be
bandit
cleansed
guy.
of the pestilence once more.
So it's like kind of replaying bosses there.
Our Alive system has also gotten a huge update. You will now find many more factions being able to take over the various areas within Isola Saga. Our goal with all of this is to change the way players think about retraversal in video games. We ultimately want to make every return feel as fresh and as exciting as it was the first time you played. And as you can see, we also introduced entirely new levels within the areas you're already familiar with.
They're going back to revisiting the zones that we've already had. That's really neat.
In order to aid players in achieving the perfect build, we introduced quite a few changes that will make progression a whole lot more streamlined and fun. First off, we have revamped the way gear drops.
Okay.
We replaced the tiered approach and came up with a formula that takes the player level, the area level and the enemy level into account, which results in an experience where any gear that drops will be approximately within your level range.
That's good.
Now, gear that used to only drop in earlier zones might just drop again, but at a higher level.
That's neat. Good.
We tried this out, and we ultimately see a much higher variety of gear throughout our playthroughs. We think it's a much more enjoyable looting experience.
I do think that's good, having like good visual progression of your character. That always feels nice when you can actually see your character. And even if, you know, if you're into like collecting outfits or whatever, now that this new way of dropping items, that you could essentially mix and match tiers that might not before not made sense, but now it does. That's good.
Another big aspect that defines your build is, of course, the enchantments.
Ember.
So far, if your gear didn't drop with the enchantments you needed, your item would never reach its full potential. But we came up with a solution.
Okay. What is the solution then?
If an item dropped with less than maximum possible amount of enchantments, you can now use a Fallen Ember to add another random enchantment to it.
That's cool. Very cool.
And if you have an enchantment on one of your items that doesn't quite fit your playstyle, Fallen Embers can now be used to re-roll that particular enchantment. Of course, Fallen Embers are also still used for respeccing your character, which makes Embers insanely valuable now.
Okay, very interesting.
We also introduced a new weapon rarity, Masterworks.
Masterworks.
Any Masterwork starts out as just a common item.
Okay.
If you decide to forego the RNG aspects of Wicked, you can bank on gems in order to fully customize your item. Gems will now show you exactly what effect they'll have depending on which item you slot them into.
I do like that because it was always annoying putting in the gems and just, you know, trying to hope to figure out what they did in each slot. But no, I do like that. Very good theory crafting.
In our case here, we want to craft a build that heavily relies on and synergizes with focus. The benefit of common items is that we can completely customize them.
That is true.
Once we've fitted the maximum amount of gems into them, they now become a masterwork.
Masterwork. Okay.
In general, we've introduced a whole slew of new weapons, runes and armor sets. We've also iterated on our list of enchantments in order to enable the creation of entirely new builds, while ridding ourselves of the enchantments that led to overpowered builds. Given that and the new loot drop algorithm, the sky is the limit when it comes to build variety.
Even like this, I'll just go back here real quick. Just them flipping through the different characters here and
in general,
seeing all the different armor sets that there is. Like, I like that a lot. It's really
We've
cool.
We've also iterated on our list of enchantments
like
in order
each
to
character
enable
you
the
make
creation of
and
entirely new
placed out
builds,
to look
while
completely
ridding
different
ourselves of the enchantments that led to
than what you had.
overpowered
Hold on, let me just go back here real set. This person had a bird cage on their head, but
we've also iterated on our list of enchantments in order to enable the creation of entirely new
there,
builds.
Look, there's a bird up on, like a bird cage on this person's head.
While ridding ourselves of the enchantments that led to overpowered builds. Given that and the new loot drop algorithm, the sky is the limit when it comes to build variety.
We also conducted a major balance pass on our stats, and we noticed that quite a lot of you didn't use shields all that much. So we changed the way they work. Instead of draining stamina, shields are now based around poise and stagger, and we try to ensure that each shield archetype feels unique. So we can't wait to see all your new sword and board builds.
Okay, this should be interesting.
Last but not least, if you've become a master at playing No Rest for the Wicked, you should try our new hardcore characters. Permadeath is enabled for these.
That's pretty standard
so once
in
these characters die,
character games now.
They get downgraded to non-hardcore characters that can only be played on regular realms. I wonder who will be the first player to slay the Econite with a hardcore character.
Quality of life and polish. Ooh.
Naturally, we also spent quite some time introducing a wide range of quality of life features and polished up what you've played so far of No Rest for the Wicked.
Okay.
For example, we've noticed that a lot of your houses looked similar to this one.
Chests.
Storage has always been incredibly important in any ARPG. On our current live builds, players can stack all that many items, and sorting hasn't been ideal yet. Let's switch over to our breach update. We fixed that right up.
Oh, nice.
And now allow
Look at
players to
that.
stack a whole lot more items within their
Look
chest.
at that. Materials are 99.
Items
That's perfect.
now also get sorted in a beautiful way.
While we're in our home,
Nicely
we can show
organized as well.
another cool feature we added.
Fast travel from your home.
Whisper
Okay.
stones,
That's
which
pretty
enable
cool.
Fast travel to and from your house.
How do I feel about that? I would say...
So if you just want to quickly drop off...
I would say that I guess it's okay. I do remember when you have to run around the whole city to go to your house, which does get old, I guess. At the same time, too, I don't like just fast traveling and zipping around, just going from where you are to your house, where you are back in. It's just, I don't know. We'll have to see how that one plays out, because I do feel like then now you're missing out on this world that you're just skipping, essentially.
Gear while you're out and about, instead of having to first warp to Sacrament and then run to your home, you can now save that one step. Remember that you can place one Whisper Stone per house, so if you own multiple ones, you can even fast travel between them.
Our next change regards food cooldowns. We've removed the classic cooldowns entirely. Now you can consume meals instantly.
Okay.
However, your stomach is no longer a bottomless pit. You have a limited number of meals you can eat during combat.
Okay. That's going to, I think, up the
You'll be able to
challenge of
upgrade
this game.
limit through Plague Ichor, letting you extend how many times you can heal or buff yourself in battle.
Okay.
This new approach aims to make combat
So you can't
more
just
engaging
spam
and
food to
dynamic,
get your health
rather
back.
than
You do
forcing
kind of
players
have to
just
play a
wait
little
for a timer.
more strategically, which is that's interesting. Danos, the architect.
We know timers and project wait times
Ain't that
have
the
been
truth?
a major discussion point in our community. We're adding a new feature so you can contribute food and ingredients to make Adanas' workers, speeding up whichever building project they're currently
neat.
tackling.
Yeah, I'm okay about that. If you have to, I don't mind having a wait timer because then it does, it does force you to come back, but it's not that instant gratification, which is nice. It's like delayed gratification. But at least now they're offering some way to slowly speed it up, or, what it says here. You provide this, they can complete the project 50% faster. So there's that wait time, which is not bad. And then they're even offering, a way to speed that up. So, that I would say is a good quality of life there.
We are always listening to your feedback, and we will keep iterating on the system. If you have thoughts, please keep sharing them.
That's another thing too. At least they're listening to, their community and taking feedback, that's really something.
Hard at work meticulously optimizing
Oh
performance.
my goodness gracious! Optimizing the game. Holy mold! Okay, let's hear this.
If you notice any poor performance in a machine before, the Breach update should drastically improve your experience.
Then.
Speaking of improvements, our DLSS implementation has been updated to a newer version, which results in much crisper image and even better performance. And these are just a few highlights. In total, we're counting more than 11,000 changes since we shipped the Crucible update.
Before we dive deeper, we'd like to clarify how you'll access the breach. You will need to replay No Rest for the Wicked to fully experience this update. Old saves remain in a legacy build.
That's good.
But
I do
this
like that.
approach ensures
That way,
the breach is integrated
you're
as
re-experiencing
seamlessly
the
as possible
game.
into the game. We realize this might be a surprise for some. Ultimately,
okay.
the scope of the breach and the underlying changes led us here. But don't worry, you'll discover plenty of fresh content, quests, and loot to make restarting your journey worthwhile.
Yeah. I'm about it, sir. Thank you. What's next?
Let's discuss our roadmap next. It goes without saying that we will heavily support the breach for the upcoming weeks after launch. You will once again see us react incredibly quickly to all of the feedback you guys might provide.
But we're also already hard at work on our next content drops. We've received hundreds, if not thousands of pleas begging for the co-op update, and we know that our original roadmap had co-op before the breach. Rest assured, it will be the next thing we launch after this update.
Okay, very cool.
The reason we ultimately decided to switch these updates was because we wanted people to have more content to play once co-op releases. With the breach update, there will be now a lot more content.
I do like that how two people can gather on a resource, which makes it harvest faster. I like that gameplay there.
Explore with your friends.
After the co-op update, we'll be following up with more improvements and new systems. We'll expand Sacrament, improve housing, introduce farming, expand the Crucible, and of course,
excited for
finish
that.
the campaign
I love me some
story,
farming in
more
games.
quests and bosses. And we're very much aware that a lot of you finally want to play No Rest for the Wicked on all major consoles.
We have a ton of things planned to further improve on the foundation that we've laid so far, and we're excited to keep discussing all of these new releases and changes with you as we go along.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Also, today marks the 10th anniversary of Ori. We released Ori and the Blind Forest.
I never played
March
Ori.
11th,
That's
2015.
a series
It's
I
been a
did
wild
not
ride for all of us here at Moon. So today,
get into. I'm not
we'd like to
too
use
big
this
of a fan of
opportunity
platformers.
to just say thank you.
Like back in the
Thank
day,
you
Crash
to all
Bandicoot,
of our
that was my
fans who have
platformer,
supported us
but
the whole way through.
I'm not a big
We would
fan
not
of
be where
them.
we are today without you.
That genre now.
We're now hard
It's
at
very
work on the
repetitive.
final bug
You've said
fixing
about
and
anything,
polishing
but
stages of this
how I
massive
feel.
update. We want to make sure we get it just right. But before we wrap up, there is one more thing. and this one is near and dear to our hearts.
Hello everyone, I'm Gareth Coker. My story with Moon Studios began more than 15 years ago when I received a message on an internet forum from them asking me if I'd be interested in composing the music for a small indie project. 4 years later, that small project blossomed into Ori and the Blind Forest. Now, we were all very young and just getting started, so for our second release, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, we set out to perfect everything about the original, and I couldn't be more proud of what we were able to create together. But our journey is not yet over.
Soundtrack and music is very important.
I'm happy to announce that I've been hard at work crafting an unforgettable score for the story, the characters, the locations, and the boss fights of No Rest for the Wicked. And you will finally be able to hear some ambient music while out exploring in the world too.
Make the world feel a little more alive.
I can't
like
wait
that.
to see where this journey leads us once again. It leaves me to invite you to experience the all-new music in No Rest for the Wicked with the Breach update, launching on April the 30th.
Ooh,
it will be
we got a date too, April 30th. Very interesting. Yeah, good music just makes the game even better. No Rest for the Wicked. The Breach. April 30th. Okay, so we're gonna end that there. Yeah, so this was something a little different. I hope you liked it. And with that, I'm excited to try the update for No Rest for the Wicked there. I like that game. And that's going to do it, everyone. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you for checking it out. It does mean a lot to me. And second, let me hear your thoughts and opinions. Have you tried the game? Do you want to try the game? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know what's going on in your head. With that said, again, this video is something different. It's going to be it for me today, everyone. I have dinner I have to go make, and I will see you all next time. So until I do see you, take care, keep on keeping, and have yourself a good day. All right. Peace out. Bye.